Psalms and Proverbs for Friday, May 15th, 2020. Many names have a meaning and a purpose that are less arbitrary than we might think. Virtually all the names in the Bible have a distinct meaning. So too do the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Psalm 119 is an acrostic of those 22 letters, with 8 verses for each letter. Ayin is the 16th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The Hebrew letter Ayin means eye, and correspondingly the Ayin has to do with vision, or being visionary, and bringing forth lights that are hidden. Ayin teaches us to see beyond and relates to time. It is the aspect of the visionary to see not just what is happening in front of us, but to envision beyond that, to know one's direction 5, 10, 100 years ahead and beyond. The pronunciation of the Ayin is also very significant. It is often mispronounced as a silent letter similar to the Aleph. However, Ayin's correct sound is a guttural throat sound which stimulates the thyroid gland. Ayin is included in a great number of words associated with time, i.e. future, past, moment, eternity, and vision, just to name a few. As an example, a story was once told of a grandfather who was very old, out in the yard of his family home, moving large rocks, clearing the land, creating a garden and planting trees. The question was asked, why was grandfather planting those trees? He was too old and they would not mature in time to feed him. It was because he was planting them for the next generation ahead, beyond himself. That is vision. It teaches us to understand the cause and effect of our lives, how past action lead to future outcomes, how to think for the future. Ayin implores us to open our eyes to see beyond the physical. Ayin is meant to take us from dark to light. It urges us to break through the walls of limitations in order to see what is not yet visible to us. Psalm 119, verses 121 through 128, New King James. Meditations on the excellencies of the Word of God. I have done justice and righteousness. Do not leave me to my oppressors. Be surety for your servant for good. Do not let the proud oppress me. My eyes fail for seeking your salvation and your righteous word. Deal with your servant according to your mercy, and teach me your statutes. I am your servant. Give me understanding that I may know your testimonies. It is time for you to act, O Lord, for they have regarded your law as void. Therefore I love your commandments more than gold, yes, than fine gold. Therefore all your precepts concerning all things I consider to be right. I hate every false way. Proverbs 5, New King James, the peril of adultery. My son, pay attention to my wisdom, lend your ear to my understanding, that you may preserve discretion, and your lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of an immoral woman drip honey, her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps lay hold of hell. Lest you ponder her path of life, her ways are unstable, you do not know them. Therefore hear me now, my children. I do not depart from the words of my mouth. Remove your way far from her. I do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others, and your years to the cruel one. Lest aliens be filled with your wealth, and your labors go to the house of a foreigner. And you mourn at last when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, how I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and the congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets, let them be only your own, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth. As a loving deer and a graceful doe, let her breast satisfy you at all times, and always be enraptured with her love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman, and be embraced in the arms of a seductress? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. His own iniquities entrap the wicked man. He is caught in the cords of his sin. He shall die for lack of instruction. In the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. All right, and the links are there if you want to check that out. So give it a thumbs up, and click subscribe, and leave a comment, question, prayer request. All right, and you have a great day. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.